Africans all over the world. Because globalization, they globalize us. Because they even develop a concept of economic globalization.
Now, first of all, I'm going to just say thanks to this committee of people, and then I'll have each person say their name.
And we need to understand that clearly, that we are a global people. And so we must
for the sake
of whether they're human,
you three share the mic,
material,
you two share the mic. So Carlton, move that chair out of the way, move it back, and then you two kind of share the mic. Elliot, I'll let you temporarily when you say your name.
Because one of our weaknesses as a people is this thing that people refer to as tribalism. I don't call it that because this is what Europeans like. When they mix it, oh, hello. They say, where are you from? So I'm like, oh, which tribe are you from? I said, which tribe are you from? So they say, oh, I'm not from any tribe. We don't have tribes. I said, really? So you don't have a tribe, but I have one because you gave me one. And if we look at our nationalities, our nations, whether they're just the Yoruba, they are much more in population and geography, than a lot of the European countries we have today. But you hear Africans raising up the tribe, and from this tribe, and from that tribe. What nonsense. Who cares where you're from? Nobody. When imperialism comes to attack you, it's not because of where you come from, it's because of the resources in your land. The earlier you understand that, the better for you. So in Nigeria, for example, there's an agitation now. We must split up. If we split up, our bourgeoisie, our elites will also split with us and continue to oppress us in our smaller nation. The other weapon that imperialism uses, which is a challenge for Pan-African Renaissance, there is religion. Some of us, with all our radical rhetorics, it's shocking. We are still deeply Christian, deeply Muslim, deeply everything but Africans. You see, the clapping has gone down because there's a lot of injection, room. And we can't understand as long as you continue to see and to understand God and the Creator through the lenses of another race, you will never know freedom in your life. Never. Religion is a cultural understanding of the spiritual. That's why Indians are Buddhists and these Jews are that and this and that. It's just an expression, an attempt to understand, the supernatural. So when we as Africans continue the denigration, you hear Africans say, oh, that's fetish. Like some people, when they see the cowries, oh, that's fetish. Do you know what it is? This is where the problem is here, in the head. In the head. And if we don't fix that problem in the head and in the mind, we ain't going nowhere. You see, the Chinese are coming to Africa, right? Or they're already there. They're going to bring their own God, Confucius, whatever it is they practice. And you will see Africans there, worshipping. There must be a cultural revolution also. If there is no cultural revolution, our political revolution will not succeed. It will be hijacked and defeated. Because while we've done half of it here in the mind, because there's here and then there's here. That's why there's so many of us in church. If you go to Africa, my God, when some of the big churches have their congregation, 10,000 people at one service. Well, I can't even talk about it because when they have their revivals in Nigeria, do you know there's no space for them in the city? They have to give them space outside. 2 million people turn up looking for redemption.
I heard the first
looking for the Messiah. But we have to understand that because the state has failed them, society has failed them, Jesus has not failed them. And the reason why that hasn't happened is that there I don't, but listen, I don't mean to upset any of the Christians here. I come from a Christian home, a background, a serious Catholics. My mom has got a big shrine in our house. All right? So I know what I'm talking about. But in coming into revolutionary consciousness, you begin to ask yourself questions. You begin to free your mind. If we want to get free, because there's some of us who don't want to get free. I must tell you that. There are a lot of them. No, they want to be a bit more comfortable. They want to have access to the same privileges that white people have. Not understanding that Europeans had to steal our resources and murder our people before accessing those privileges. So, for those Africans who want the same privileges, I always advise them to go and look for a brand new race of people that they can exploit, a brand new territory somewhere that they can exploit in order to have those resources. Because some of us want orange juice without oranges. We want freedom without struggle. That's what some of us want. That's why we wait for the Messiah. Because you see, the Messiah is going to bring it, you see. We'll be folding our arms like this, and the Messiah will bring it right up to us. Say, here you go, good people. You deserve it. You're deceiving yourself. And if we're not careful, in the next 30, 40, and 50 years, our children will come again, whether we assemble in London, in Lagos, in Accra, in wherever, and have the same discussion all over again.
All right, my brothers and my sisters. Well, we're at 21 after the hour of 9. Powerful statement by the sister, and I hope you took some notes. This evening, I hope you take some more notes, and tell my intern in there, turn it down just a little bit. Anyway, just a little bit, so I won't have no feedback. Thank you very much, Nate. Anyway, brothers and sisters, we are broadcasting with 4,000 watts of power, and we're on 24 hours, 7 days a week. The other thing, those of you who are members here at WAIF, and we have an annual membership meeting in the spring and in the fall. Those that have been members, and as of July 31st, 2015, that was the cutoff date for this annual membership meeting. But the annual membership meeting is going to be Sunday, September the 20th, of course, 2015. Is going to be at the New Thought Unity Church, that's 1401 East Macmillan Avenue at Cincinnati, Ohio, 45206 in East Walnut Hills. Now, the registration begins at 3 p.m. and then the meeting promptly starts at 4 p.m. Until 7. Please bring a ID and your council check, your membership card, or your receipt showing that you are a paid member. There will be some refreshments afterwards, and there's plenty of free parking. New Thought Unity Church is about 1 block away from WAIF. If you look at Waiff and you go across the street and then you turn right and you start walking towards what is Woodburn Avenue, you will actually run into Unity Thought Church on the corner. So again, brothers and sisters, we also have a website, www.waif883.org. That makes us a global radio station. So anywhere that you listen to me, my friends in the Gambia, my friend Keith Dubois in France, Juneau, Alaska, my friend Jeff in Japan now, and then his friends, and my friends also in Hawaii, those people in Mississippi, Alabama, Atlanta, Wabayark, New York, my favorite city, and so and also here in Cincinnati. Now, if you're local in Cincinnati, and if your computer is acting up, or you just don't want to use your computer, WAIF 88.3 on your FM radios. And I can't say dials anymore because the radios don't have dials. We got on our control boards 2 little dials. Other than that, they're all slide pots. So anyway, there you have it, brothers and sisters. I got exactly 900 people in the radio station. Now, I know the last time I said that, one of the board members was going nuts and, oh, gee, they got all these people, and they thought they were Black Panther Party members. Well, they weren't, but it was me. And of course, I did have some guests, but I come in to do radio each and every Friday night, and the sun is not out in the sky, but the moon is. It's a very full moon, so strange things are subject to happen. But when I come in to do radio, I come in to do radio with a purpose, with a purpose, with a purpose. So brothers and sisters, right now, I'm going to start introducing some of these guests. The rest of them, we're giving them tickets as they are coming in so that they can shift, because the line goes all the way up Macmillan and all the way up to People's Corner. So that's how many people we got waiting to get into WAIF. So the fortunate ones that made it in the door, I want to say to all of you that I welcome you this evening to WAIF. And anybody got anything to say? Well, I just want to, your name, sir?
My name is Carlton Brown.
Okay, and yours?
Hershel Daneils.
All right, and you?
Ross Tastafari.
And you, sister?
Energy, the new rock goddess.
All right, and
Sharita Tafari.
Right. And you, brother.
Elliot Jordan.
And is there anybody else? Come here, young brother.
Sister Leah.
Sister Leah, and just say your name.
Zedekiah Bell.
Zedekiah Bell. Okay, and there's another little brother. And actually, the brother that's my intern. Come on in here a minute, just for a minute. And what's your name, brother? What's your name? Come on up to this mic. Come on, don't be shy.
Durante.
No, I can't hear that.
Durante.
Say it loud.
Durante.
And then this is what you have to do. You're looking at me, which is a great thing. But when people ask you your name, you tell them with authority. What is it, Devante?
Durante.
Durante. You say it just like that. Durante. And mean it. White, black, red, yellow, and brown. Let them know that's your name, okay? Stay it strong. All right, come on in, brother. Come on, real quick. Real quick. And this is my intern here. And good brother. What's your name?
Nate.
All right, that's good. That's good. That's good, Nate. All right, thank you, Nate. And Nate's in here helping me out. All right, well, I want to thank everybody for being here this evening. Now, the first person, you have something that you want to say, Brother Taj?
Yes, I have something that I'm revising off that was on Marcus Messiah's Garvey mind, how very astute this guy was and how highly educated he was. And I'm just going to revise something to the people that back in his time that he revised to the people that he put on their mind.
All right, and go ahead. And what I'm going to do right now, I'm sliding the mic down so you can pull it just a little closer, or you get a little close to it. Okay, that's good. It probably won't go any further. Yeah, right there.
Okay.
All right, now go ahead.
This piece is called Africa's Possibility. It says, you may ask yourself if you believe Africa is still asleep. Africa has been slumbering, but she is slumbering for a purpose. Africa still possesses her hidden mysteries. Africa has unused talents, and we are unearthing them now for a coming conflict. Oh, I hope I will never come therefore. I hope the white world will change its attitudes towards the weaker races of the world, for we shall not be weak everlastingly. Oh, history teaches us of the rise and the fall of nations, races, and empires. Rome fell in her majesties, Greece fell in her triumph, Babylon, Assyria, Carthage, Prussia, and German Empire all fell to their pomp and power. The French Empire fell from the sway of the great Napoleon and the dominion of the indomitable Corsican soldier. As they fell, I passed. So will the nations fall in the present age, and so will they fall in the future ages to come for the result of their unrighteousness. I repeat, I warn the world, and I trust you will receive this warning as you go into the four corners of the earth. For the white races should teach humanity out there is selfishness in the world. Let the white races teach humanity first, because we have been following the cause of humanity for 300 years, and we have suffered much. If a change must come, it must not come from Negroes. It must come from the white races, for they are the ones who have brought about the estrangement between the races. The Negro has never hated. at no time within the last 500 years they can point out one single instance of Negro hatred. The Negro has loved even under severest punishment. In slavery, the Negro loved his master. He protected his master, safeguarded his master's home. Greater love has no man than he should lay down his life for another. We give not only our services, our unrequired labor, we gave also our souls, we gave our hearts, and we gave our all to our oppressor. But after all, we living in a material world, even though it is partially spiritual, and since we have been very spiritual in the past, we are going to take a part of the material now, and will give others the opportunity to practice the spiritual side of life. Therefore, I am not telling you to lead in humanity. I'm not telling you to lead in the bringing about of the turning of humanity, because you have been doing that for 300 years and you have lost. But the compromise must come from the dominant races. We are wanting them. We are not preaching a doctrine of hatred, and I trust you will not go back to your respective home and preach of such doctrine. We are preaching rather a doctrine of humanity, a doctrine of human love, but we say love begins at home and charity begins at home. We are aggrieved because of its portioning of Africa, because it seeks to deprive Negroes and the chance of a higher national development. No chance, no opportunity is given us to prove our fitness to govern, to dominate in our own behalf. They impute so many bad things against Haiti and against Liberia that they themselves circumvented Liberia so they make it impossible for us to demonstrate our ability for self-government. Why not be honest? Why not be straightforward? Having desire of the highest development as they avowed and professed of the Negro, why not give him a fair chance and opportunity to prove his capacity for governing? What better opportunity even presenting itself than the territories of Germany and Africa were wrested from her control by the Allies in the last war? What better chance ever offered itself to trying out a higher ability of Negroes to govern themselves than to give these territories to civilized Negroes, and thus give them a trial to exercise themselves in a proper system of government? Because of their desire to keep us down, because of their desire to keep us apart, they refuse us a chance. The chance that they give us is a chance that we are going to take. Hence tonight, before I take my seat, I will move a resolution, and I think it is befitting at the time to pass such a resolution as I will move, so that the League of Nations and the Supreme Council of the Nations will understand that Negroes are not asleep. The Negroes are not false to themselves, that Negroes are wide awake, and that the Negroes intend to take a serious part in the future government of this world, that God Almighty created him and placed him in it. This world owes us a place, and we are going to occupy that place. We have a right to a large part of political rising, and I say to you that we are preparing to occupy that spot. Go back to your respective corners of the earth and preach the real doctrine of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, the doctrine of universal emancipation for Negroes, and the doctrine of a free and a redeemed Africa. How's this lesson, pleasure?
All right, brother. Well, thank you very much. Well, look, number one, we're talking about, and each one of these people have something to say. But the main reason we are here, the Cincinnati African Family Day, and we're asking everybody to join us 42-day celebration, and this is tomorrow, Saturday, August 29th, 2015, at the Hershel Community Center, 3630 Ready Road in Avondale, and that's Cincinnati, Ohio, 45229, and it's 12 noon till 7 p.m. Day one, there will be transitioning our community through the legacy of Marcus Mosiah Garden. Now, guest speakers, health and wellness fair, live music, entertainment, edutainment, spoken word, African marketplace, black art showcase, children's activities, and then back to school giveaways. Now, day two is going to be the Lions Den, Sunday, August the 30th, and that's 7617 Ready Road, and that's Cincinnati, Ohio, 45237. And that's going to be from 2 p.m. until 9 p.m. There will be a panel discussion, crisis in the African community. Then 2 p.m. until 5:30 p.m., red, black, and green Harambee celebration.
and come dressed in your colors representing one God, one aim, one destiny. Live entertainment, Marcus Garvey Music Tribute, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. If you'd like to get further information, the hour's kind of late, but you're getting it right now. It's 513-742-2808. Well, we got Hershel Daneils and Carlton Brown from FAMU, right?
Yeah, Friends of the African Union.
Right, and greetings once again to both of you.
We appreciate you having us here.
Sure.
And brother, everything that you said has been fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what you have to know is in 1885, that in Berlin, what we call now Africa today was created, right? Okay, all right. There's only one African nation that was there, Ethiopia, because His Royal Highness at the time as a prince was part of the family that was trained as an equal peer to the Romanovs, okay, in Russia and to the Hungary Empire. So their army was so bad, remember, that the Nazis had to come in to help Italy because they whipped up on them, right? All right. So when they failed at the League of Nations and what came to pass, remember, he was also a prophet. Okay, all right. So where I come from is because I was trained in Coptic Church in Alexandria, Egypt. Okay, when I lived over there, I'm an oceanographic tech. Okay, I got to travel 36 countries. Okay, so here's what the real is. The African Union, the successor to the Organization of African Unity, which was created May 25th, 1963, at the invitation of His Majesty, 31 other leaders of the African liberation movements who came through Marcus Garvey were trained, many of them in London during World War II. And the reason why it failed in World War II afterwards is because Roosevelt died. Because he had this thing called the Atlantic Charter, and he told the British and the Danish and all those people who had colonies that, hey, we're going to fight this, but, we're going to fight this so that people get free. He died beforehand. Truman came in, he followed the script, French, British, let's go with the colonies, hence why China got in the run, because China was with our liberation movements. That liberation happened in 63. It carried forward to 2000 when the organization changed over from the Organization of African Unity to the African Union. African Union is 54 nations. Okay, I'm sorry, I'll speak to the mic. Okay,
right.
Okay, but that. See, there has to be information.
Mm-hmm.
We got it all wrong that, some people were assigned to tell everybody this. Now, I got out of this. I used to be part of a diplomatic mission from the country of Guinea to the United States.
Mm-hmm.
We represented Guinea to the United States. We didn't represent the United States to Guinea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so I was the only believer in the Christ who was among the group, okay, because I was trained in Alexandria. So, but the real is that African Union in July 16th, 2012, extended it to not only the continent, but to the world, the 6th region. There was 5 regions before on July 15th, 2012, and that was the African continent. They said all 300 million of us are part of Africa. You are officially, if you don't have a tribal relation, like for me, I have a tribal relation. Okay, I know from where I come, from DNA, all that stuff. Okay, but if you don't have a tribal relation, you have a connection as an African. That whole 1% or more that was used against us, well, now that's for us. Okay, so they reached out to us and they said, hey, look, we need to know. Okay, what you got in skills, what business that you want to do with us, and the 60 billion that we send home every year electronically, Western Union, can you design something better for us? And could you create a market for us? And our we're worth $200 trillion. Okay, but we're only making 2.5 trillion for 1.1 billion people. But y'all are 55 million people, y'all earning $1 trillion. Hey, you earning 10 times as much as the average inside. Can you give us a hand? All right, now, this isn't anecdotal. This is stuff that happened and has been. David Dinkins led the delegation that South Africa spent $50 million and brought from 79 countries all over the world, okay, Africans. Okay, not, they may be African Vietnamese, they may be African, Laotian, Australian, American, but they brought them together down in South Africa and they made it happen. They made what Marcus Garvey wanted to have happen, that we are a worldwide 1.4 billion organization Okay, now they asked us to organize ourselves so that we could have a vote. Okay, so that we can be a voting member of their stuff.
All right. Well, Hershel, I want to come back to you because I want to give each person a chance to talk about their involvement in maybe the Marcus Garvey celebration that's going to take place, and then we are going to entertain some questions a little later. So if any of you who haven't even heard the gist of the whole program and you start calling, guess what? Oh, Jeannie ain't gonna answer the phone. But the number is 513-749-1444. So when I cue you and I tell you, okay, now we're accepting calls, then call in. But if you just call and say, I'm gonna be the first one, you're not, because I'm not taking calls right now. But let's go over to a sister here. State your name again, sister, and tell us about yourself and what you do.
My name is Energy, and that's a new rock artist. I do spoken word.
And speak up. Come a little closer. All right. Good. Go ahead.
Okay. Again?
Yeah. Oh, you're fine.
All right. So the spoken word, the piece of reflecting what's going on in life right now.
Mm-hmm.
Try to help spread the truth through the words.
Do word sound power?
Yes.
And I think I saw you once. You were at the Sealing Museum and Institute. Were you over there one time? Maybe it wasn't you, but have there been some YouTube stuff for you or some Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I've seen you because, and I think you got some real powerful stuff. But maybe we'll hear from you with some of your poetry as we go around. Okay.
Okay.
All right, sister, and state your name and what's your involvement in the Marcus Garvey celebration.
Oh, I'm Sharifa Tafari, and I'm helping to organize the event. I'm basically the vendor coordinator, I guess you could say. So any vendors, last minute vendors, give a call to the number 742-2808 if you want to vend in the African market.
All right. Okay. Well, that's good. Now we have another person here. You want to introduce this person, Sister Leah? You want to introduce him because I know the brother. I've known him for a long time, but I think that you'll do justice by introducing this person.
Well, this year, greetings each and every one. This year, for the first time, we are presenting local Black-owned businesses with the Marcus Garvey Award of Excellence. And this year, the recipient is our brother right here, Elliot Jordan, of Elliot Jordan Studio and Art Gallery. This year, this award is presented to a Black local-owned business, and we're honoring them for their life work in the community.
Okay. Well, let me get this brother here to speak about just some of the things that he's done, because I know that I was sitting down and everybody else came in, and of course I wasn't being rude. I was just, relaxing a little bit. But when Elliot, and when I saw him and he came in, I said, well, let me give up this king chair for him, because this brother has been around. He has been a real icon in the community. And just tell us about some of the things that you've done, and also that you still do. But the one thing that I know, you're an artist, you've been a teacher, and so just tell me a little bit about your life. I mean, you can start from when you were first born up until now if you want to. It's going to take a long time, but
That's right.
yeah, but you can start. But just your artistic endeavors and what you've done as an educator. Can you speak on that?
Well, let me tell you, I've been in Cincinnati for over 30 years. I'm not a native of Cincinnati. I'm here representing the originally the Jordan family of Cumberland County, Virginia. Also the Burns family of Woodford County, Kentucky. I have a tradition in my family, especially my mother's family, with the Burns family of being educators. My great-grandmother started one of the first schools in Kentucky for Black children. So I'm a fourth-generation teacher. I suppose it's in the blood. I followed my mother up here. She moved up here in the late 70s or early 80s, and she started teaching. She had experience teaching in North Carolina, Virginia, Kentucky, and her last assignment was here in Cincinnati, Rothenberg School she taught. And so, and so when I came up here in the early 80s, I started teaching school, working with children. I worked with the youth in city recreation all over the city. I worked with the Job Corps, and I worked with Cincinnati Public Schools, teaching in several schools in the city, including Rockdale, Heberly, Vine Street, Fairview, and other schools like Lasannaville, so many I can almost name.
And let me ask you, the subjects that you taught, were there various subjects, or did you have a particular focus?
Well, I was especially in art teaching is what I taught, was art. That's my discipline.
Okay.
I went to school in Kentucky, Murray State University. I have a bachelor's in art and then a master's in art education from University of Kentucky.
And something else I happen to know of, that you spent some time, or I don't know whether it was a month, 2 months, or 6 months, or a year, or whatever, and you'll tell me, but you were in Ghana, and you learned some things as an artist about Adinkra symbols, and I think you were teaching how to make Adinkra symbols, and can you tell us about that?
Well, that's right. I moved around the city, the library, different schools, teaching about Adinkra symbolism, which is basically from the Ashanti people of Ghana. And originally, they say it started, a person would die, and so these symbols were made to express how a person felt about the loved one who died, with the strength of their sincerity, of their loyalty, all have symbols that would go with that. And so I've been, trying to spread that message. I guess African symbolism, and there's so many different, Adinkra is only one. You have the hieroglyphics of Egypt, and so all of these, you start to be able to read them. You can see the commonality in reading them.
Well, I just want to say this, and I will come back to you, that I am honored, Ellie, to have you here. I know you have listened to Talking Drum on and off for many, many years, and you, as you said, you're an artist, you're a teacher, you're a businessman in the Black community, and I just honor that so much that I'm going to ask them here at Waiff Board, the chair you're sitting in, I'm going to see if I can get it put in a glass case so that it's spray painted gold, so that I know that was your throne when you came here to WAF. So I'm really honored to have you here. All right.
Well, thank you.
Yes, yes. All right. Well, look, and while Hershel Daneils was talking, and his partner sitting over here next to him, I just went past Hershel and right on around. Carlton Brown, how you doing today?
I'm doing absolutely excellent, sir.
And that's good. And I always say, especially nowadays, everybody says to me, how you doing? Or how you doing, Ojinga? And I say, you know what? It's a great day to be alive for a Black man in America.
Here's what I say. I say it's not about waiting for the storm to pass.
I know that's right.
It's about learning to dance in the rain.
Well, tell me, I know you and Hershel are connected, and you're in the same organization.
Absolutely, sir.
Tell me about
what I do.
Your role and what you do. Yeah.
Yes, I am Carlton Brown Foundation. I'm an affiliate of Friends of the African Union. Cincinnati Change is my fiduciary. Am I correct, sir? Okay. But I'd like to mention a little bit. He talked about the Adinkra symbols and the Ashanti tribe, where I also work for W.E.B. Du Bois, King Joseph Du Bois, as his great-great-grandson. He's the king of the Ashanti tribe.
Let me give you a correction there on that.
Okay.
He's the first American who was made a peer by the Ashanti king. Okay, but remember I said we deal with real politics?
Right.
Okay, all right. So when we deal with government, so he was the first American who the Ashanti king ever made a peer, and he first, and because His Royal Highness in '72 gave him land of the royal crypt because of he was Du Bois's family. Okay,
All right.
Okay, and
go ahead, continue.
and we also work
And
with
thank you for that correction.
with the New Freedom Foundation in the United Nations, which is Queen Mother Dolores Blake. She's the Queen Mother of the Shine.
Yeah, she's the senior Queen Mother in America.
I will get in trouble.
Okay, by the Queen Mother. If you know the Shante Kingdom, you know that the king is made by the Queen Mother, and so she's still alive. Okay, and she sent her delegation as officially as part of the UN Women, and it was confirmed. Queen Mother Dr. Dolores Blakely from Queen Mother Moore, but she's okay.
Okay, yes, sir. And
no, I just wanted you, Hershel, to, because you're speaking, and I know you like to move around because you're speaking to everybody,
yes.
but use the microphone. I want you to speak into the microphone.
I'm sorry about that. Okay.
Good.
All right. I'm not trying to take over,
No,
but,
sir,
I got to be correct on this because we're at the United Nations and African Union, and they're very particular.
Yes,
And,
I get in trouble.
let me just say something here. Let me say something real quick. Everything that any of us do or say always warrants or stands to be corrected. The most important thing is that we want to come as correct as we possibly can. And the reason why, because we have young people, we even have children here, and we want to properly educate them and not miseducate them, you know. And I have said this a million times here on the air as long as I've been on. Carter G. Woodson wrote a book called The Miseducation of the Negro. Well, I also said he should have wrote a sequel, but he didn't have to, and obviously he didn't. But he should have wrote a sequel, The Miseducation of the Caucasian, because they're just as uninformed as we are. But the most important thing, to a great extent, the most important thing is that we, Africans, all over the diaspora, we want to make sure with the information superhighway, the World Wide Web, the internet, and all of these other social medias, that we make sure radio, television, print media, that we get out information to be as accurate as we possibly can, because that will help liberate our people.
Okay, well, let me come at it then. I'm also FAU Chamber of Commerce business manager. Pretty soon, you know, the chairman will be able to expound on that, but we'll be doing public-private partnerships of investing $250,000 into 1,000 African American businesses in this city and 1 million businesses in the next 5 years.
This is all about, we just had a meeting with the White House last week to talk about how we inject money. And so this is what Africa asked us to do and what we're about doing. When I was talking about Garvey, I've been since 1969, a philosophy of Marcus Garvey, but I'm more a Du Bois man. Okay, and that whole, when he wrote his theses in 1895 that gave the tracing of slavery, and Marcus Garvey picked it up and ran with it, okay, but the fulfillment is here. Fulfillment, what is said in 2012 by the leaders of Africa is that was Pan-Africanism. That's our history. What we are now is in the African Renaissance since January 2013. In May of 2013, that there was a 50-year plan put forth for Africa. Oh, and by the way, President Obama, he signed up the United States for that. Okay, and where he did it in Cincinnati. Did it in 2012. He did it in June. He had that U.S.-Africa Business Summit. It happened here. It was by invitation. I got an invitation. I didn't know why I got an invitation, but I've been called back to service by Dr. Ali, who's the ambassador from the African Union now for 3 years and 8 months. And now we're going public with this because of the misinformation that's going out there. There's a lot of complaints about what's going on. There's a lot of complaints about here in Cincinnati, and there's a lot of things that are happening here that are incorrect. Okay, not the least of which that we're dealing with this officer who was killed, and everybody was lying, you know, saying great, great. But the reality is that there's audio tapes and video that contradict the party line. Okay, and so we have to be real, just like you said about the media and etc. Okay, I mean, my background is in media. Okay, I'm a communications cryptologist. Okay, and so we have to be correct that Africa has called us. Barack Obama's responded, waited for us to answer. Okay, Africa said, organize yourselves. And nobody else wanted to do this. Friends of the African Union is.
I'm going to take this call, even though, as I said, I didn't cue anybody, but I'm going to take this call right now. This is Talking Drum Live. State your name and where you're calling from.
Say, I have solidarity with your program, and you've taught me a lot over the years, and I have a membership coming to you.
All right, Cherokee, and you know I appreciate you and thank you for the continued support, and I'm glad that I'm doing some good by having all kind of guests and information, and that's great. So Cherokee, I really appreciate you. Thank you very much. All right. All right. All right. Now, as far as okay, let me let you continue just a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. I like to touch on my brother's keeper.
And then once you do that, then I'm going to go to Ross Tosh and get with him. All right, go ahead.
Yes, I'm also been appointed by Mr. Melvin Williams, who is the urban line leader of my brother's keeper of Greater Cincinnati, Ohio. He has appointed me as team leader and also spokesperson for an individual who needs a hand up and not a handout. They'll be having Dress to Success programs, Boy Scouts, urban Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts for young ladies. Also, they'll be having a Jobs to Justice program. They'll be having different work. We had a summit the 31st of August and the 1st. There was performance. You came that day, you left with a job.
All right, well, look, we're going to take a quick break because I got to do some technical things. We're right at the hour, 5 minutes to the hour of 10. And of course, my name is Joinor Commorece. As I said, I come in to do radio with a purpose, with a purpose, with a purpose. In living color, black, 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 no shame in my game. I have a committee of folks here. That some of these people, I believe, are going to be a part of the Marcus Garvey 2-day celebration. They may be involved or they may be on the panel. But right after we take a break, we have a young man, and he's called Little Zed. We don't have to take that name off of him because, you know, those nicknames, and they say Little Zed. One day, Little Zed is going to be Big Zed. So we got to give him a name, Zed. So anyway, I'll be back, brothers and sisters, in just a minute. Again, my name is Joinor Commorece. The program that you're listening to is Talking Drum. And when you call in at 513-749-1444, I call it Talking Drum Live because you make it live, as Cherokee just did. So again, brothers and sisters, thank you very much. And those of you, and I've had the discussion, everybody ain't my brother and everybody ain't my sister. Those of you who fit that, mold, then that's what you do. But, everybody ain't your brother, everybody ain't your sister, even though I say it. But I have to be real correct that there are some people that don't even look like me that have done things for me that have been great and things that should have been done for me, and some people didn't do it. But the main objective of mine is to deal with our African people because we have been people that have been, put through a tremendous amount of all kind of trauma and everything else. So, brothers and sisters, we'll be back right after this. Again, my name is Joinor Commorece. This is WAIF. We're at WAIF 88.3 on your FM radios and www.waif883.org on the internet, the World Wide Web. And if you go to our website, which I just gave you, we also have an app for Android phones and we have apps for Apple products. So check it out and you can download one and you can listen to me anywhere in the world. I'll be back right after this.
I knew he was doing his right.
So you can do too.
So next time you come on.
Yeah, I know the website. I remember. Yeah. We forgot to mention it. Yeah. Either one of them.
It's a
You ain't never heard of TP card.
Yeah, I'm still in training. You know what I'm saying? So not too bad though.
Business card. I got him. We on Facebook.
Yeah. Okay.
I remember when I first met you. I didn't know y'all was friends with him. That's what I had.
Yeah, that's my chairman. That's who I'm always talking about.
Yeah, I remember we was down. We was at the waterfall. You had that seminar. Y'all was talking about it, and I was and I was reading on because I've been doing a lot of research. And when he had set up, they had moved to League of Nations when it was in Geneva. It's not over there, it's overseas. It's actually over here in the United States.
Yeah.
So it's in New York still, or they moved?
We already have our own congressman. Right here.
The original for what we were doing when we were talking to you was in Geneva.
Yeah.
Part of the United Nations.
Yeah, I know that was after the war though. Once they moved it, he came back and
So up through that, our headquarters is a brand new building in Africa. Our headquarters right now, brand new building in Addis Ababa.
This is still in Addis Ababa.
Okay. But the key is that we're the richest black people in the world. Okay. In terms of professional skills, revenue, we earn 10 times more than the average African in the continent. Okay. So what they asked us, is to take our skills to give help. Okay.
Whatever skills we got,
whatever skills, but not only skills on the continent, but skills where you are.
Yeah.
Okay. To make, in this case, for us in America, set the example by here in Cincinnati. So, something I came down last year to talk to people about. Okay. We went ahead and did. Okay. Let's see the meeting with the White House last week. Okay. Now, next week we're going to go meet India. Okay. Up in Cleveland. But, that's where I come from. Family. We got a black congressman. Okay. A lot different than it is. But China has financed the creation of 2 banks over the past 3 years of $200 billion. Okay. And, we're talking to her to do a demonstration here in Cincinnati. So I'm going to partner with you, partner with her, and partner with. And by the way, we need to talk, okay?
Say that again.
We need to talk about the drum circle. Okay, because I need a master drummer because of where we are at with the Ashanti.
Okay.
Okay. They've set up the educational account. Okay. And so so you understand.
Right. Say it. You ready to talk? Come on in. Nobody, just 1 second. Let me do this, and then I'm going to let you. So read this next.
Turn around.
right, brothers and sisters. Well, it's time for Drum Talk News. And again, my name is Ojinga Commorece. And I want people to check out Facebook. If you have announcements, if you have a flyer that you want to post up, just go to Drum Talk News. And that's a part of my Facebook page. And you can post up your flyers. Of course, we are talking about the two-day Cincinnati African Family Day, and you will hear more information about that, but it's going on tomorrow, 12 noon until 7 p.m., and then on Sunday from 2 p.m. until 9 p.m. So you will hear more information because that committee is here, members of the Marcus Garvey Committee. Also, brothers and sisters, you have the Always Hallelujah Fest, and this is a free concert, September 6, 2015. It's a Labor Day weekend and a royal reunion, and it's by host Sister Sarah. And it's at the Woodlawn Park, and the doors open at 12 until, and it actually is an outdoor concert, so it's no doors. It's just open for everybody, the public, from 12 p.m. until. Now, if you're interested in performing, 513-306-1175. There you have it, and that is the Hallelujah Fest. Now, brothers and sisters, we also have, this is going to be something, Catch a Fire Tour 2015, Damon Jr. Marley and Stephen Raga Marley, Morgan Heritage, the family. I've been blasting their CD each and every week. Towards Rally, Joe Mercer and Black I Am. This is going to be September the 9th, the LC Pavilion. It's the outdoor amphitheater in Columbus. Brothers and sisters, that's something not to miss. Also, we have Dr. Umar Johnson. He returns to Cincinnati Friday, September 25th, and that's 2015 at the New Prospect Baptist Church, 1580 Summit Road, 45237, to bear the cross. Why leadership is so important to the Black community. If you'd like to get further information, 513-642-9513. Also, there's always activities over at the Sealy Museum at 2621 Victory Parkway. And check it out, brothers and sisters, 2621 Victory Parkway. You can go by there daily. They have some activities in the parking lot every day, Tuesday through Saturday, and that's 12 noon until 7 p.m. And so, brothers and sisters, there you have it. That's a few of the announcements. There are some people that I keep telling them, look at Drum Talk News and put it on Drum Talk News. Also, a young brother that I had on my program, Brother M. Hotep, he's starting My TV Cincinnati. He's talking about starting a Black network, and so the major networks that don't give us the real story, that's what he's going to do. So look for him. That's M. Hotep. He's going to bring to you My TV Cincinnati. So look for him on Facebook. Well, there you have it, brothers and sisters. And again, my name is Ojinga Commorece. I'll give you a little bit of this drum, and then I'm going to go back to my guests in just a minute.
You know, I don't miss doing this at all.
Oh, man, it's work. It's a lot of work.
No, I did this when I was 16. Yeah. We did a carrier current radio station.
Here we go. Zed, ready? All right, brothers and sisters. Well, there you had it. That was Drum Talk News. And matter of fact, that piece, it was from Josh Shaka, and that piece is called Talking Drum Dub. And when I saw that, I said, that's very fitting when I do Drum Talk News. Well, I got a young person here. Actually, he's probably going to be the next president. You know, I mean, those people who vote and whatever they do, just listening to him, he's educated, and he's just sharp as a tack. And I love to hear this brother speak and give his information. And so they call him Little Zed. I'm going to call you Big Zed, because you're getting big. You were little. You were like knee high to a duck, and you're coming up there. So we're taking off the Little Zed. Big Z or Z. All right. So how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. And yourself?
Well, as I say all the time, it is a great day to be alive,
Yes, it
and
is.
I'm glad to be here. And it's a great day for a black man to be alive. The few of us that are in here, and hopefully many of the others that are out there, it is a great day because there's so much stuff going on. But you got something for us that you want to share with us this evening, so you go right ahead, tell us about it.
I will be reading the UNI, United Negro Improvement Association Pledge. I commit my body, mind, and spirit to the protection and defense and security of the red, black, and green. I dedicate my life to the redemption of Mother Africa and the liberation of her scattered children. I accept for myself and my descendants the teachings of universal African nationalism. I promise that our children will be instilled with a purpose and knowledge of themselves as African people, in order that the cause of our struggle will neither falter nor fail until all black people are free and united through one God, one aim, one destiny.
All right. Well, that's great. Now, tell me, how old are you?
11 years old.
And have you looked at some African countries as of yet that you would like to be the president of?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, that's a good thing because there's one that's waiting on you. Okay. All right. Well, now, Sister Leah, she has been coordinating some of these guests. And Sister Leah, I'm going to go to this sister next, right? So let's swing that mic around for the sister. And tell me your name again, sister.
And Energy.
All right,
Yeah,
Energy.
I got it.
And even though I know you're a great poet, and I know you're fiery, but you have such a soft voice and you say energy.
Energy.
Yeah, that energy.
Energy.
All right now. All right.
Okay.
So you got something for us that you want to share?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
It's just reflecting on the state of my people, our people right now. This is called Shooting in the Natty. New Elevation.
Go ahead. And let me just remind you, there is no profanity in it. All right, good. All right, good.
Reflects April 6, 2005, there were 4 shootings less than 6 hours apart. Fast forward 10 years, and we've reached a peak. The highest murder in Cincinnati over the past 10 years has happened this year. So I say this. The shooting continues day after day. I don't think it will ever stop. I see it get worse before it gets better. I see more of my people hurting because there's so much confusion here. I see the acts of violence as reactions to the current state of the world, and I ask myself, is there a way to get us to value our worth? But the answer doesn't come quickly. There are too many discouraging factors. All I can see are the children fighting, dying over turf that ain't even theirs. Just because you're tagging it, it doesn't make it yours. We're just borrowing this land. We don't own any part of it. We're getting by paying rent, being controlled by the government who's enjoying everything that's going on right now. They want us to destroy ourselves so we won't be held responsible. Come on, folks. Wake up. This behavior is not what's up. We got to stop eating the things they are feeding us because they are contaminating our minds, disabling us to think freely, keeping the shades on our eyes, blocking the view of our spirits and dreams. Yeah, they're directing our path through mainstream media and all this trickery. It's time to fast, reflect on our history. Remember when we had authority, before we were kidnapped and sold into slavery, we were great of our heritage and bloodline purity. We were kings and queens. We built still standing pyramids that these abductors are so amazed with. They still trying to figure out how we did it. However, they really ain't trying to give us the deserved credit. We were in tune with the universe, got all our strength from the Creator. We depended on Him faithfully to keep us maintained. Knew He was in control, so we went with the flow. But now we in fear, we're doing things we shouldn't be. Following the imposter, what they putting in our ears. This earth is not our home, it's a temporary address. So let's not get caught up in its ways, because they'll stick with us and keep us from being elevated. Let's heed to the word, y'all. Realize the time we are living in. We have to get back in line with the Most High if we want to see our kingdoms again. It's time to elevate, y'all. Change the monotony. Turn up the volume so you can feel the vibrations and understand the time is now to act. Be who you were sent here to be. Don't get caught up in the system. Seek out the Most High's guidance. It's there. Close your eyes, open your hearts, and receive Him. Elevation. wake up.
All right, very good. Yes. And what do you call that? What's the name of that poem?
New Elevation.
New Elevation. All right, well, that's very good. And you wrote that yourself?
Yes.
Now, do you write most of your things?
Yes. I write everything myself.
That you
Everything's
do.
written for myself.
Now, just since I have you at the mic right now, because I'm going to go to the next person, but how long have you been writing poetry? What inspired you to write?
I've been writing poetry for about 15 years now. What inspired me was just releasing my thoughts, the pressure that I feel, just seeing how the world is going, things I see in life, people going through struggles, friends, myself, relatives, just in general, what's happening in the world. Just reflect that truth so people will know what's going on and try to find ways to correct it.
All right. Well, words sound power. Poetry has always been one of the art forms that get a lot of messages out. I remember as a young man, I was coming up, and of course, a lot of the last poets I was just listening to. And of course, later on, I found out on the West Coast, there was a group of brothers that were around the same age, and they were called Watch Prophet. And, just a long, long time ago, I remember even when I was a child, and this might tell people that I'm a little young, but anyway, I remember they had beatniks, which we deemed as hippies, but they was always beatniks, somebody with bongos and a flute, and somebody reciting poetry. So poetry has been an art form for us to be able to express ourselves. So it's something beautiful. Very good, sister. Maybe we'll hear something else for you before we get out of here. Now, swing that mic over to Sister Sharifa. And so you are one of the committee organizers or committee members or something like that. So again, tell me all the things that you have prepared to tell me to see.
Well, I wanted to highlight that on the second day, we will be gathered at the Lion's Den from 2 to 8 p.m. We have a great panel discussion, crisis in the African community, and there will be 2 topics, which will be Black on Black crime and police brutality. The panelists will include the elder scholar Carl Westmoreland, Judge Fanon Rucker, our sister community activists Iris Raleigh and Gigi Diawara, as well as Vanessa Sparks, who has the Signs of the Time Blog Talk radio program. And the panel discussion will be facilitated by Amaha Selassie and Mark Talbert, who are both grad students and community builders.
Now, with that panel discussion, I'm sure that to have one and in such a topic, will there be a time for a question and answer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there'll be a question and answer time slot after each topic.
Okay, that's good. Well, brothers and sisters, you heard it. This is a 2-day celebration. Day 1 is tomorrow, and that's at the Hershel Recreation Center. And again, that's located on Hershel Community Center Recreation Center. It's 3630 Reading Road in Avondale, 12 noon till 7 p.m. And there's a whole host of activities that are happening. Day 2, as Sister Sharifa just said, at the Lion's Den, and that's Sunday, August the 30th at 7617 Reading Road, and that's 2 p.m. until 9 p.m. And in between those times, there will be a lot of things happening, and one of the main features is that there will be panel discussion and some very interesting panelists that will be speaking. Go ahead.
And there'll also be a report about the Tanzania Water Project that will be shared by CPAC, which is the Cincinnati Pan-African Coalition, at 6 p.m. And then right after that will be the Red, Black, and Green music tribute and dance. So come sporting your red, black, and green garbs, and let's have a great time.
All right, well, that sounds good. Well, we're going to swing this mic around and to my dear brother here that, I've known, and there were some other things that I wanted to share with us. But again, I'm really honored to have all of you here. And thank you, Sister Leah, for bringing thousands of people, because that's what, Leah is one of the people, and sometimes I have to just, check with my sister because I said, how many people you have coming? She said, well, it's 999. I say, are you sure it won't be 1,000? She said, it's just 999. And so a lot of people, a lot of work, So, but anyway, it's all good. But Elliot, again, just overjoyed to have you here in the Cincinnati area, being a businessman, being an artist, being a teacher. And you got a lot to say. And I'd like for you to share some more. I don't know really what to ask you other than your life has been inspired by your mother being a school teacher, and you love teaching. What are the grades that you teach and have taught in school?
Well, I taught kindergarten to 8th grade mainly. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed all the different grades for different reasons.
Okay.
And I especially love the very small children because they're very open. They are very open. They continue to be very open and can be taught. Now, I've been teaching privately recently since being retired. And one of the things I've asked of my students is not so much that they say, for instance, I have a 9-year-old, 11-year-old. I don't want them to be the best 9-year-old or 11-year-old they can be. I'm asking them to be the best artist they can be, period. I expect them to jump up to the level of an adult. Right. And it can happen, just as long as they're sensitive and I'm sensitive to them.
Well, now, speaking of sensitivity to the children, for the subjects that you teach, and especially dealing with art, because I remember years ago when I was in art and a lot of that stuff, they were trying to take out art music and gym and all that stuff. But how responsive are the children when you're teaching them art? Because sometimes they may come in and say, well, this is, just draw this little picture, but I think that you may talk about art theory or whatever. Can you explain that?
Well, the younger the children are, the more responsive they are. A lot of times they get older, they start to, close off. But, it's a lot of times it's the responsibility of the teacher because they are the adult. Right. And that's some part of the joy of teaching is, if this is not working, what can I do to open up the student? Right. And so it's a constant quest for me. And I've been happy that it's been a constant quest to look around and see a lot of people that work with children, such as yourself, and a lot of people I've known in this community that just keep working and working. And I think we've got a lot of success, as we can see in this young man that was reading here. Exactly. And the young man over here that read that by Marcus Garvey is just tremendous. I mean, we have a lot that we could show. Unfortunately, we see too much of the wrong thing and not enough of the right thing.
Right. And I'm sure that there's some, but and I've been at schools myself, and I run in occasionally into times where some children, you say, well, I need everybody to come and do this, and you get somebody, no, I'm not going to do it. And I ask why, and I try to get into why don't you want to do this in front of your fellow students? And then I find out other things are going on, and it gives me an open door to begin to talk to that child and get them to open up and understand that this is art, it's fun, it's creative, it's about you and all of that. And so I have a great time. And even with one of the worst cases, and the principal, because she had been summoned to come to the class, and there were other teachers that came, and they said it was a young man that his father had unfortunately gone to jail, and he could not be reached. And I asked everybody, because we were sitting, and I was doing an artist in residence at the museum center, and it was part of the school, and I said, can everyone sit down? Now they made sure to clean the floor real good. And he said, I don't do floor. And I said, what's your name? He said, Tyrone. I said, how old are you, Tyrone? He said, I'm 10. I said, guess what you know, Tyrone? He said, what? I said, your name and your age, and that's it. I said, this is my classroom, and I'm going to ask you to do one thing. Sit down. Now, if you don't sit down, then I'm going to take you up, and you can sit and talk to the guard upstairs in the guard shack or in the museum security, and just talk to them and tell them over and over, your name is Tyrone and you're 10 years old. I said, now, I think that you should choose the choice to sit down on the floor. And he said, well, my mama bought me these clothes and they're clean, and my dad, and he had on his designer clothes. And I said, you see this hat that I have? I brought back from Africa. I said, this hat, no disrespect to your parents. I said, but this hat costs more than maybe 3 of your outfits. I snatched it off my head and I put it gently on the floor and I stepped on it. And I said, you see me doing that? I had my foot on my hat. I said, so I'm asking you, will you sit down? And I said, the next thing is, I'm telling you, you need to sit down. He sat down. And so after the class was over, without being prompted by the teachers, he came up to me and he said, I'm sorry how I was acting. And I said, why are you acting? He said, I just don't have anybody in my life but my mom. He said, my dad is a Jew. You know, and he had said that, I guess, prior to his mother and father, his father had gotten some clothing and things like that, but afterwards, sometime he went to jail. So I think that if we get with the children and let them know that we love what we do, we're passionate, but at the same time, we ain't taking no nonsense. So you got a choice. You can go talk to the guard, or you can stay in the class. You know. So have you experienced some things like that in some of the classes that you dealt with?
Well, I've experienced a lot of problems, a lot of pain, you know, a lot of
Sure.
making it difficult to teach. Sometimes you just hope, you know, that what you're saying is going to make a difference.
Yeah.
I know a couple of times I remember I had a couple of students. One, I walked into a pizza parlor. I'm not going to say what it is.
Yeah, right.
Someone was working there. A young lady was working there, and she had a lot of nice jewelry on, African jewelry and necklaces, and especially bracelets, a nice collection. And I asked her, I said, why are you, you know, you really have a nice collection. Where did you get that from? I mean, what started you in this? This is when I was in school, I had a teacher that taught us about African art, and his name was Mr. Jordan, and he started me in it. And I said, well, I'm Mr. Jordan. She was, oh yeah, that is you.
That's a great feeling.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to know that sometimes you're doing something for somebody that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Especially culturally, to keep someone in the African mind.
And this is why we have to be positive role models, because that just triggered. I mean, I'm going to go to Ross Tosh over here in a second, but it just triggered that one day I was in a big grocery store that a lot of people go through, and I won't mention the name. And there was a little boy, and he was clinging onto his mother's dress, but he was pointing at me, and he said, him. And I'm saying, okay, wait a minute, I just came here to buy some groceries, what did I do? And so she came up to me and she said, are you a drummer? I said, yeah. She said, my son was trying to tell me you had come and visited his school and he got a chance to come up on stage and participate. So I took a deep breath. I said, well, thank you very much. You know, it's cause, you know, it could have been something else. But I said, I was glad that what I was doing in schools and I was presenting what I was presenting to the children, that it was a positive impact as opposed to them saying, oh, I saw you on the corner. You were shooting ice and you were selling some drugs out there. Or you know, you was beating somebody or something like that crazy. But that wasn't the case. So it is a wonderful feeling when you get that, when you're making an impact. Yeah. All right, well, look, we're going to go ahead and talk to Tosh again. Tosh, you're a young man, and I know that you just recently, I believe now, and you correct me, just from what I seen on Facebook, and I forget what it was, but something dealing with construction or something like that. Did you get certified?
Yeah, I went through Construction Connections through the Urban League.
Okay.
They got a lot of opportunities for young men that's just, if they want to really go and find out a program that quick and get in, there's no cost to them. It's just, you got to sacrifice your time and dedication. It's a place you can go and get some qualifications and certifications.
How old are you now?
I'm 23 years old. 23
years old. And man, I wish I was 23. I sure wish I was. But anyway, tell us about the program that you was in, and
I recently went through the SOAR program, and that was a job readiness program to where I can actually talk to people, and you know, if I talk to an executive or somebody in a building, I wouldn't be, you know, I wouldn't be separated from everybody because I know how to talk. I know how to basically approach those people that I wasn't normally comfortable with approaching.
So, like some executive walks in the building, he's got a suit, and you don't walk up to him and you say, "Yo, what's happening, bruh?"
Yeah. So it's a way that you can actually stick it through in a job area that you're not really familiar with.
Well,
so it gets you ready. Like basically, it's just like society. If we can talk to each other like normal. Normal to want to feel. Even if I use slang, it wouldn't be normal. But when you got to be professional, you got to be professional.
And that's very, very good. Now, did you learn some heavy equipment operation?
Yeah, I learned bobcatting.
Okay.
But they was showing me like, I know how to use power tools, but they give you basically power tool material. But the most important thing that they teach you that you get is the safety.
Okay.
And that's the OSHA 10.
Right,
They actually give you an OSHA 10, so you can go on about that because safety is important no matter what job site you go to. But Bobcat, and they gave me a certification, and they got me steering and signaling.
Okay.
And rigging.
Okay, and so you're moving on up. So maybe you're 23. Let me see. Maybe at least by 30, you'll already have your construction company and your crew all hooked up.
Yeah, either my own construction company or I'll be with someone's construction company, making them successful too.
I know that's right.
So it's all about, the reason I look at it, that's why I think Marcus Garvey and people in such his insight, because it show you how to be greater in spirit and show that you can do, as long as you put your time into it and dedicate your time to it and know that you can do what you want to do. That's why I really love the things that I learned from him, because it basically gives me a greater outreach and doing whatever I want to do. If I can put my ability to it and I know I got the ability to do it, I can do it. I never limit myself.
One last question, and then I'm going to go to Hershel Daneils and Carlton Brown for just a brief, and then I'm going to start trying to take some phone calls at 513-749-1444. That's 513-749-1444. As a young man that has been to a program and successfully so, and you learned something, it has given you a different outlook and a very positive outlook on life. When you get among your peers, those that are 23 or 21 or 20 or even 30 and just goofing off in the street, what do you have to say to them?
I really, like me, I don't force nothing on nobody. I just like, as far as when they see me, they see that I always have something in my hand, as far as a book, a bag, or something educational, as far as me being an example when I walk through the streets. So if someone see me through the streets, or they can stop and ask me what I do, or if I have my suit on, or if I have my regular clothes on, but I always got something in my hand, or something that represent my quality and ability as a black man, or African American, or African from anywhere. You know what I mean? To be a leader and to see me walking and going to a place and handling business, to know that it's just, you got to dedicate your time. It's on you to order. It's all out here, and people giving it to you. You just got to put forth the effort to do it.
Well, I'm overjoyed to hear that, and that's excellent, brother. That's just excellent. Well, let me go to my next guest here, Hershel Daneils of FAMU and Carlton Brown. I know you all have a wealth of knowledge about a lot of things in sharing. I want to do this in maybe about 3 to 5 minutes, because I want to get in a few calls. And go ahead.
All right. So the program he went through and OSHA 10. Now what we have to do is get the follow on to get the construction jobs. Okay, so we've got a multi-billion-dollar project here in Cincinnati. It's called the sewers, right? It's a $3.59 billion project, and anybody who owns a home and wondering why their sewer rates are going up, it's going to go up forever. Okay, ever, about 3 to 5% per year. But most of those jobs that go into that don't hire him. Okay, most of those jobs, if you look at that, you see Kentucky plates, you see all these other plates, you don't see brothers and sisters on those jobs. So, see, I come from an A. Philip Randolph background. I come from a labor background. So we were just up in a strike area where we're doing action steel workers up north. Okay, so we're bringing that here. I contacted the Coalition of Black Trades Unionists here to put together a project labor agreement. So we buy the sewers. That's what we met with the county commissioners for, and they said they sell the stuff for $1.5 billion, and it's taken me 2 years, mind you, 2 years to get together the financing for that. And that was part of the stuff that when we had in April, Zimbabwe sent in their ambassador, okay, we cut the deal, okay, to make it so that it happens. So everybody from Africa is going to, all the leaders will be here, okay, in September 25th in New York City, friendsoftheafricanunion.com.
And I'm going to come right back to you, but I do have a call, and this is 749-1444, 513-749-1444. And when I do it this way, I want you to state your name and where you're calling from. And again, this is Talking Drum, and my name is Commorece. Hello. Caller, are you there? Caller, are you there? Yes, you are. Now, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you now. That was my mistake. Go ahead.
Yeah, greetings, Brother Odinga.
Greetings to you, Jimmy the Vet. I recognize your voice. How you doing?
Okay, we have to learn. What our father's doing is learn your skill or trade. Learn how to use your hand and your ability. That little brother said he learned how to do bobcats or whatever. He learned him a skill. He got him a trade. With that, he can work and feed his family. A lot of young blacks in America, that's just okay because I met those like him and asked even my own grandson, who's 27. I said, what do you want? He said, Grandpa, I want a job. What a job? I said, what kind of job do you want? He said, Grandpa, I just want a job, man. Give me a job. I said, okay, what kind of job do you want? He said, make some money. I said, all right, what do you want? He said, and his little buddy saying that, and we just want a job. So I said, how about construction? Oh, man. I said, well, how about labor force? Oh, man, well, if you want a job, man. I never understood what they meant when they said that. But this little brother that you got on your show, I am so proud of him. I should be ashamed to say he learned how to operate a bobcat. He knows construction. And when he got a book in his hand, but when you see a little brother in the street now, he should tell them, get you a skill and get you a trade. And that's where you'll make a living, you'll be able to grow, and you can achieve a lot of things and do what you have to do with a skill and a trade. And that's so good. I like this program. Brother Jingo, you keep doing what you do. You know, I want to put you all the way. I appreciate what you're saying. I hope that little brother tell all the listeners and other people who are listening. That's what we need out of our young people, is to learn a skill. That's what built this nation. People with skills, trades, and learn how to act. Heating, they don't have to be bobcat. They can learn heating, air conditioning for housing, automotive. They can learn plumbing and electrical for housing and building.
Well, that's it. All right, well, thank you. All right, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll get in touch with you. All right, all right. 513-749-1444. I got some young people in here, and you know, because they all in my living room, and I always want them to say their names. So come up to this mic, this green mic here, and tell me your name. So you're on the radio. What is your name? And okay, what's your name? Wait a minute. Let me turn that up. Say it again. Anne-Marie. And how old are you, Anne-Marie? 6. Now, what are you going to do as you grow up? Are you going to be in the radio or TV? You're going to be an astronaut or what? Lawyer, doctor? What are you going to do? Or you haven't given any thought yet? Okay, that's good. That's good. And 6 years old, you said? All right, well, that's good. Well, congratulations on your thought of being a doctor. Well, let me get, is this your sister here, your big sister? Okay, cousin? All right, well, you come on up to the mic. Come on up to the mic. And what's your name? Briaja. And how old are you?
11.
11. So, what's some of your aspirations in life? You know, as far as things that you might want to do as you continue to grow up. And what grade are you in? I forgot to ask her, but what grade are you in school?
6.
6 years old. Okay. And what are some of the things that you might want to do in the future? What are you interested in?
The doctor or lawyer.
Doctor or lawyer? Well, you know, not that I'm an old guy, but I'm not a young guy either. So I may need your help one day. So thank you very much, both of y'all, for wanting to be doctors. Is anybody, your mother, is it your mom inside?
Yeah.
Yes, your aunt. Well, tell her to come in and don't be shy. Come on, she's sitting in the corner. See, I get it. Everybody in the studio in here. Everybody. You know, I just, yeah. So anyway, and then we're going to take some more calls. 513-749-1444. My sister, come on in real quick, cause I want to continue to roll with the program. Come on in. This green mic right here. Come on. Okay, say your name. What's your name?
Huh?
What is your name?
Letitia.
Well, Letitia, you came here in support of your friend, right?
Yes, I did.
And I'm glad that you brought these young people in here because it is very important for them to see positive things and positive people in the community. So thank you very much. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So Hershel, go ahead, continue. Then I want to talk to Carlton real quick. And if anybody wants to call, 513-749-1444. 513-749-1444. And then I'm going to get a point from you. Do you have another one? Okay, good.
There we go. See that's fashion, art, music, entertainment. I'm not telling you anything that you don't know anything about. But what we have to teach is how to be in the business of fashion, art, music, and entertainment. How do we be in the business of being in the business? Like I said earlier, we earned $1 trillion, but we only spent less than 7% of that in our own businesses. All right. Now, I just met with the White House last week on this conference for Asian American Pacific Islanders, and we're the only one people who brought a Pacific New Guinea. Okay, and they didn't know what to do because they said Pacific Islanders, and there's Indians, there's Chinese, there's etc. But now we brought somebody who looks like us. There's a whole bunch of people who look like us throughout Asia because we had great fleets. Okay, if you think Christopher Columbus, how he got here, well, his navigator just happened to look like us. Why? Because they had been here. Okay, the first time in America, okay, it wasn't the English in 1619. It was 100 years before that, and it was there because of Portuguese, and it was there because we are famous world explorers. Now, all that history that hasn't been taught to you now, you can't blame it on the man anymore, okay? You can't say that you don't know. And if people are telling you that we're going to complain because the rock dropped on you, well, some of us are crawled out from underneath that rock. And the word is, okay, from up high from President Mugabe, who's the head of the African Union this year, he reiterated his call that, you know, come on home. Come help us. Like Zimbabwe is going to be short 700,000 tons of corn this year. Okay, and one of the reasons is because we in America haven't paid the $1 billion that when Reagan came in the office that he shortchanged Mugabe, so Mugabe took the hit so that Nelson Mandela could be free. Okay, so he could negotiate the deal. Real history.
All right, well, let's swivel that mic around to Carlton Brown. And how you doing, brother?
I'm doing absolutely excellent, sir.
Okay, so I know, as I said, both you and Hershel Daneils are colleagues, companions, and friends. You know, companions in this family organization. You're partners. Tell me some more about what you do in the Carlton Brown Foundation. What is that all about?
Oh, well, the Carlton Brown Foundation, you know, you heard the young men talk about the SOAR program. Well, I was that individual when I started my foundation a little bit over a year ago who went to the Urban League and worked out a networking agreement where I take all the information from their lady business classes that they offer. They also offer small businesses. You just go to 4 classes and you have an opportunity to have your own business. They have great business managers there that assist you with developing an excellent business plan. They buy all your tools you need, but you have to go through the SOAR program for that. They have a call-in center downstairs in the basement. So what I did is I went into different organizations like that around the city, St. Vincent de Paul, different organizations, get their information. I was hosting an event every third week of the month for the rest of the year where I could get this information to the people who needed it so they could put food on the table so they could feed their families.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And we got the sister over here, and she's going to do some another poem for us because I want to maybe get the last words from Sister Leah. But anyway, share with us another poem. What's the name of this poem?
This piece is New View.
New View?
New View, yeah.
Okay.
For the community.
All right, go ahead.
All right. It's past time to stop the madness and increase the peace. Yes, I know that sounds a bit cliched, but I'm just being honest. You see, there's too many of us getting killed for reasons unjustified. We are decreasing in number by the minute, and that just ain't right. The ways of this land got our heads so messed up that we are striving for materialism instead of improving our own self-worth, focusing on things that can only bring temporary satisfaction instead of living to fulfill a purpose to provide happiness that's everlasting. I know it's easier said than done, but I do believe that it can be. Our neighborhoods could actually, again, become communities where we help each other instead of hate each other, provide ways to enhance the surroundings instead of assisting in the destruction of our homes, the places that we as kids grew up. We have to stop fighting each other and get the real enemy fighting against us because they are planning on our downfall by the way of our own hands. We have to wake up, my people, and realize that we can do whatever we dream of if only we believe in ourselves and stop worrying about the ways of the world and what it is caught up in. We have to get caught up in ourselves and discover the true purpose behind the reasons for our lives. Then we can get on the right path and head towards the light, because as long as we follow these shadows and linger in the dark, we're only going to continue to hurt ourselves because we will stay confused and lost. But I don't want that. I want this drama to cease. And so that is why I am coming to y'all with this piece. You see, I know these last days are rough, and most of us feel like giving up because it feels like nothing will ever get better for us. Or we must do what we have to just to make a few bucks, resulting in law-breaking, fatalities, or time behind bars, only making life harder for ourselves and our loved ones. So instead I say, this is the time to have the most faith. Stand still in the storm and await the grace of the Most High God who is ever present, and seek out the opportunity that He has presented. Take the rainfall as a time of meditation for rejuvenation so you can begin anew. And once the storm is past, step out onto the cleared path with a new point of view. It's time to wake up, y'all. Recognize the light. We cannot give up the fight. I am energy. The new our goddess. Revolution will be live.
All right. All right. Yes. All right. Well, Sister Leah, I want to thank you for putting all this together. We still have a few minutes, and then we got a caller. Let me go to this caller real quick. Caller, state your name and where you are calling from.
Hello, Dr. Trump. It's me, Blair, calling from Warren County, Lebanon, Ohio.
Blair, thank you very much for calling, and I know that you are out there in Warren County, Ohio, listening to me with all of your friends, and I appreciate you, Blair, again, because you have been listening to me forever and ever and ever and ever, and so I thank you for your listening support, all right? All right, thank you, Blair, and I'm sure you'll be a weatherman one day. One day. Well, brothers and sisters, that's Blair that always calls in and checks in, and so there he is. But we got Sister Leah once again, and Sister, I just want to say to you, don't grab the mic. I want to say to you, I thank you. Okay, I want to thank you very much, and Nate, thank you very much. Thank you. That's my intern. He's having to leave, but he's been doing some work here tonight. Thank you very much, Nate. Leah, I want to say to you, Sister, thank you for
bringing only 999 people.
Thank you for always allowing me to bring home 999 people.
Right. Well, tell me again. We're talking about the Cincinnati African Family Day, and we're talking about 2 days Marcus Garvey Day celebration, day 1 and day 2. I believe some of these people, or some of you, are going to be on the panel or in some of the programs. Are you just going to be there? How's that work?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Cincinnati African Family Day celebration. We're gonna ask each and everyone to come out to support this historical celebration. This will be the 128th birthday of the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Tomorrow, Saturday, August 29th, at the Hershel Community Center, 3630 Reading Road in Avondale, from 12 noon to 7 p.m. If it rains, we'll be inside, but we'll take the whole celebration outdoors on the green line.
Mm-hmm.
So, program libation will start about 12 noon. Our theme for the day will be transitioning our community through the legacy of Marcus Mosiah Garvey. We'll have guest speakers. We'll have a health and wellness fair. We'll have a black art showcase with various artists from all over Cincinnati, live music, spoken word, guest speakers from Columbus, Dayton, and Louisville.
And let's give that address where day 1 is going to be tomorrow.
3630 Reading Road.
And the time again?
12 noon until 7 p.m.
And people, if they're familiar with the Avondale area, it is the Hershel Recreation
Community Center.
Community Center. And a lot of people may have seen it in the news, and this is just on a bad light. A young man lost his life in that field. Had nothing to do with the Marcus Garvey celebration, and people don't know. But people, don't be afraid to come to the community center. That is a place that, whatever happened, I'm sure there's still an investigation, but this has nothing to do with what happened. But I just said that to say to people, since a lot of you have seen it already on the news, you have some general idea where the Hershel Community Center is. And it's in the area, and you don't have to be afraid to come. You can come and enjoy yourself tomorrow with the red, black, and green.
Yeah, it's a wonderful location.
Sure it is. And the open field, there's a history about that open field, but I'll have to tell you that later. But it's a real open ball field, and right now it's a wonderful place.
Yeah, and I mentioned this to bring healing to our community.
I know that's right.
Yes.
And it was a good healing, but it just has some history, somewhat interesting history.
Mm-hmm. That's day 1. Day 2 will be at the Lion's Den, Sunday, August the 30th, 7617 Reading Road, from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Our panel discussion will begin about 2:15, 2:20. Crisis in the African community. Topics are black on black crime and police brutality. After that, we'll have Baba Kirk from CPAC to come and speak about the Tanzania Water Project. Thank you.
Okay.
Then we're going to some music with the Red, Black, and Green Harambe celebration. Everybody come out and join us.
All right. Well, that sounds good. I want to take just a quick musical break. If somebody calls, I'll cut that music off. 513-749-1444. I'm going to get last comments from everybody just real quick, because Frank, his son, came in tonight. He was ill last week, but Novelty Records with the Rock and Roll Doctor is in the house, and so brothers and sisters, they'll be up at 11 until 2 a.m. I stayed on until 12 last week, and I couldn't stay until 2, but I stayed until 12, so it was real wonderful. But anyway, we'll take this break, and we'll be back right after this. And to all of you, I'll say it now, and I'm going to say it as soon as I come up after this, that I thank you all for coming, and thank you for bringing this. All right, everyone. All right. Very good show.
Go now, right?
Very good show.
When do you?
Thank you, Baba.
Yeah.
When do you want?
I want to get quick.
She wants me on the panel Sunday too. So.
Each one of y'all, real quick. I want to just one 30-minute state
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Yeah, not 30
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Oh, if you want
That
30
would be
minutes,
in the
like-
Frank and Frank. So how you doing, Frank? I'm good. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
what time? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. 2 o'clock? Okay. All right. I'll get there earlier.
Well,
okay.
you
What
know,
time is
I've been
what time is Carl
trying,
gonna
and
go
then
on?
this lady here, when you call her, she knows all kind of people.
Did you decide to do that?
What?
Yeah,
What?
right.
Carlton Brown.
Yeah. Okay, so look, I'm getting ready to fade this down. I just wanted to take a breather for a minute. I'm
I
gonna
really
fade
just
this.
put it on that too.
I want everybody briefly, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, say something and then we out. Everybody, okay? All right.
My brother's keeper. Okay, now.
Here we go. We'll start with you two.
An African problem.
No, it's 2,000 black. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Tell the children be quiet. Tell the children be quiet. All right, brothers and sisters. Well, we're going to be closing in just a few seconds, and I just wanted to get about 15 or 30 seconds. I'd said 30 minutes from each person, but that will be cut into Rock and Roll Doctor's show, and I'm not going to do that. But anyway, about 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 10 seconds.
Yes,
I want to say to you, thank you for coming here tonight, and I'm sure to have you all back again.
All right, thank you for having me.
All right.
Yes, my brother's keeper of Greater Cincinnati. You can go to mbkgc.weebly.com. And I'd like to remind you again that there's an African proverb that says, if one person does a little, that means, if everyone does a little, that means that one person doesn't have to do a lot. And before you know it, you will cross an invisible line and the impossible will manifest.
All right, brother. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Remember, if you have 1% or more of African blood, you are African. Now, not real soon now. Garvey is fulfilled. What are you going to do to implement it? FAU, Friends of the African Union, Google us. We're there.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. Go ahead, brother.
Rastafari, look to the east for the coming of a black king. Up, up, you mighty race. You can do what you will.
All right.
Okay, peace and much love. This is energy. It's time for peace. It's time for love. It's time for unity. It's time to rise up and get back on top.
All right. Go ahead, sister.
Sister Sharifa, drum call is at 12 o'clock noon on Saturday and 2 o'clock on Sunday. Come out and let's heal and let's empower each other and share the love. Peace.
All right. And peace to all of you. And go ahead, brother. This is the guy that's sitting in a chair that's soon to be painted gold and put in the case, the king, Elliot Joy. Elliot, again, honored to have you here.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to be here. Well, I just want to remember Marvin Gaye, Save the Children.
All right. Well done. I want to thank you all, your friends who came out, the children. Lizette, come in here for a second. I need you to come in for a second. And then we're going to go. And what is this young man's name? What's your name again? Devontae. Let me put that down. Again, you all had a good time here at the radio station. That's always good to see young people, even though you see a lot of stuff going on, a lot of work. But I want to thank y'all for coming in and being in support with your parents or, your uncles, aunts, grandparents, whatever. I thank you for coming, all right? All right. Okay, Lizette, come on up. And I just want to thank you for coming. And I'm sure that already about 15 African countries are talking about having you to possibly become a president of their country. So just wait on the phone calls. They're going to come in. But thank you very, very, very much.
May you all have a wonderful day in the Lord, and I'll see you later.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And to the sister, you came in to support your friend. I want to thank you and the children, lovely children out there that are going to be medical doctors. Thank you very much. And Leah, thank you tremendously. Thank you tremendously.
Thank you.
Well, I'm Brother Ojinga Commorece, and I say push for unity in the community, push for unity in the community. Peace and love, love and peace. Spell the word community in lowercase letters, C-O-M-M, in uppercase letters, U-N-I-T-Y. So when you look at the word community, or you will see the word unity. Peace and love, brothers and sisters. Be safe. Until next week, rock and roll, doctor. I'm Ojinga Commorece. I'm out the door.